That's sick, actually. Not bad.
Oh yeah.
What's this nigga doing? What time in Toronto? That.
That's just a sign of spending too much time indoors. That's what that is.
I mean, at least some of us are. Niggas out here going to restaurants. Good for you. Get that. No, not you. Maybe you actually, patio boy.
I've been to a couple of restaurants.
But again, yeah, you're
pretty good safe measures in place though.
No, I don't understand. Come with your mask on. No, you can take it off. No.
At your table is fine. The tables are spread far apart enough.
Are you talking about? I haven't been indoors. Toby, you've been inside a restaurant?
I was outdoors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to an actual restaurant, but chose to sit on the patio. Some people choose to sit inside, right?
No, I'm not going inside.
No, I ain't going.
Are you scared of the boogeyman? What's up?
Yes.
What boogeyman? There's a fucking virus killing me. What's wrong with you? Are you afraid? I'm afraid of a virus that is killing more people. Like what did they say now? The stat, it's killing more people than 9/11 did, and it's just like people are just like, oh shit, this shit's getting real. It's like you didn't think it was real before that? What's wrong with y'all?
Well, how many people died in 9/11? I think the stat I heard was that in the first like 5 days or something, it killed more people. I don't know what the stat is. Anyway,
all I know
I heard something along those lines.
Yeah, because it's 9/11 just came up, right? So everyone was talking about it again. So they're just like, look at this pandemic. We have more deaths under 45 than we had. I'm like, yo, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, it's none of my business. I'm living in the States. Y'all don't want to listen to us. We've been telling you for a minute that shit's bad. Y'all just out here being like, you know, I'm going to go have a COVID party. Everyone ready?
The parties don't bother me. It's like the close bar going to, I'm going to still take a picture, throw a picture on the gram of the 4 restaurants I've been to that week. It's like, you spreading ass bitch.
Yo, facts. Facts. Big facts. Biggest facts.
It's like, you can't cook that bad. You can't just make a meal. Damn, son.
For real. Like, y'all are crazy. Folks, another edition of Geektastic Cypher here on franklinarmstrong.com. Hopefully you guys are all tuned in, checking it out, relaxing, sitting back, and you're watching on one of our many platforms. We're available on YouTube. We're available on Facebook, but you can always watch directly on franklinarmstrong.com/live. Both the audio and the video are available right now. So if you guys are watching and want to support us, consider watching on our website. You know, the more people, the more hits we get, the better it is for us overall. If you guys are listening to the podcast, thank you. We always appreciate you guys. The show originally started out as a podcast, wasn't necessarily meant to be a show, but we have so much fun doing the show on a weekly basis. And Skinny was right. I'll give credit where credit's due. Skitty said we should do this as a video, give people something to watch, and it has been great for us. So we continue to thank you guys for supporting.
As you guys were talking just now, I actually was finishing the last 3 minutes of Boys.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw my face. I was like, man, homeboy from Banshee. He's killing this role, man. He is killing this Homelander role.
Oh, is that where he's from? He was on the show Banshee?
Yo, have you seen Banshee?
No, I never watched it.
That's a recommendation right there.
Yeah?
Dope.
What's it about?
Gang member, pretty much like a gang member dating the daughter of the boss of the gang he's in. They're on a heist. Things go wrong. He takes the fall. He goes to prison. She's been out this whole time. We meet him when he comes out of prison, and craziness ensues. It's really good. That's the best description I can give you without giving away anything.
Crazy.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm down to check it out.
And they have a trans hacker in this show, an Asian trans hacker. He's hilarious. Hilarious, kills me. But it's a really good show. You guys will love it.
Can I watch it at 1.5?
No, you shouldn't be watching anything at one point.
I just won't recommend it.
Okay, it's so good that it's worth watching at regular speed. That's fair. I respect that. Because I've been saying that to people lately. I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes I'm willing to watch things at regular speed if you tell me it's that good. That's the long and short of it.
What shows do you watch at normal speed?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Give me 5 shows right now that you've watched. Okay, yeah.
Jack Ryan.
Okay.
I watch it at normal speed. I watch most pilots at normal speed. I'll say that. So the pilots to anything that I watch at normal speed. What other shows do I watch at normal speed recently? Oh, we're going to talk about this one later. Raised by Wolves. Raised by Wolves. We're talking about it.
The 5.
So wait, you watch The Boys at 1.25 or whatever?
No, The Boys is also a regular speed. Regular speed is The Boys, Raised by Wolves, Jack Ryan. What was the other show that I really liked that I was just like, oh, this is where it's slowing down? Oh, Legion was like one of the first shows that I was like 100% I'm going to watch this at regular speed. That show,
yeah, you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah. That was one show that I didn't have a choice.
How did that end? I fell off because it was too much of like concentration.
It like reboots. It ends with like them realizing like some kind of weird loop thing, and it's like it ends up with just the end being the beginning, and it's like, okay, whatever. So
end it all over again.
Yeah. Oh snap, yo, DJ. Sorry, man. It's true. You've been asking us to talk about this show for a minute. I'll give it a. I'll mention it in my section when we get to it a little bit later. Shout outs to Lee J.
Hey, Lee J, this is what we're gonna say in terms of recommendations. I got a recommendation from Mark, and now I'm getting one from you in terms of a show to watch. If the show you recommend is trash, you're not allowed to make recommendations anymore. You know how much trash Lee J talks in the comments sometimes? It's hilarious.
Lee J be on some.
He comes after you a lot, actually.
Damn,
that's funny.
You gotta pray for like that.
He says you're straight liquor, no chaser. That's what he calls you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that. I like the recommendations actually.
Yeah, man, I would appreciate Lee J. Lee J's, yo, I'm not gonna front. Lee J is the one that put me onto Cobra Kai again. I was already watching the first season and then fell off, and Lee J was just like, "No, you really need to rewatch. Like, give the show another chance." Him and another buddy of mine said so, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch Cobra Kai." And yo, that shit's solid. It's a good show.
So he's already passed the shit test. He's good.
Yeah. Mind you, he did recommend an anime once that I tried watching, and after 10 seconds, I was like, "Nah, I'm not watching this." And it turned out. I don't remember. Lee J will have. I'll look back at our chats, but there was one day he was trying to get me to watch, and I was just like, "Oh, well, yeah, sure." And I watched the first 2 minutes of it, and I was just like, "I don't want Lee J. What is this?" And then I got through the first 10 minutes. I was like, "Lee J, why did you?" No.
Why did you do this to me, Lee J? Why?
I was like, nah, homie. But yeah, guys, I want to talk about this before we continue because this one's pretty major. I want to preface this by explaining to people real quick. Yeah, this is major news, though. Facts. That is fair. Jonathan Majors, the actor who was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, more recently was in and in starring in Lovecraft Country, has been tapped to possibly be playing Kang in the next Ant-Man movie. I think that makes sense. Ant-Man has worked into time travel. Kang showing up.
Kang?
That's one of the rumors.
Possibly. It's a rumor. Everyone is running with it, saying it is Kang because there's a lot of like
linked to Ant-Man, you know. So
yeah, there's been a lot of people saying, but for those of you who don't know, Kang is a relative of the Ricards, the Reed Richards and Nathaniel Richards family.
In which way?
So Reed Richards' father, Nathaniel Richards, is from Earth 616. At some point in the long history of his life, he ends up traveling to Earth 6311. When he gets to that Earth is like a war-torn Earth. It's a real big mess. It's not a good look. He goes in. He helps fix the world. The queen appreciates his help so much that she like offers one of her daughters for him to marry. He becomes this like king and like has like this whole area and blah blah blah. Long story short, Kang, aka Nathaniel Richards, because he gets named for the original Nathaniel Richards, is the time traveler and is a descendant of the original Nathaniel Richards. So I guess Reed Richards is like his great uncle or something like that. So
is Kang's great uncle?
Yes, because Nathaniel Richards, who is Reed Richards' father, is the one that travels to 6311.
Okay, I get it now.
And then has kids. And Nathaniel Richards is named for his great or great-great-grandfather. I don't know how many generations back, but Reed Richards is like an uncle or great uncle of some sort.
Somewhere in the lineage, they're tied by blood?
Yes.
Okay, so it is a blood relative.
Yeah, it's his father. Nathaniel Richards, the father, shares is a genesis of both.
Do you think, because your next question here that you posed, obviously this is huge news. I actually haven't watched Lovecraft Country yet, but I heard it's really good.
Oh, great show.
I was waiting to the end of the season to watch this one. But your question was, how do we feel about Reed Richards in the MCU potentially being black because of this?
Yes.
Casting? But I don't actually think they'll do that. I think Kang will be from a different time or dimension, but there won't be that blood relation.
Or even that, they'll just make it so far down that they'll be like, somewhere along the lines in the family, there was an interracial marriage.
But it doesn't look interracial. It's pure black. It won't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a product of interracial relationship. My great grandfather is white. My mom's a quarter. People don't know that I'm an eighth white, but you can't really.
There's some light skin in you.
But I know people. He's like,
actually, you know what? What does it? Okay, what is the if they make Reed Richards black in the MCU? What are the ramifications?
Okay, so for me, my thing is from get-go, I always say I don't want them to blackface characters. I don't think you need to. We have our own. Yeah, we have our own characters you can introduce. There's a reason that back in the day we didn't have enough shine because they didn't give us enough shine. And now we're at a point where they're recognizing that there is money in the black community. Black Panther made it very clear that black dollars can make a movie a lot of money. That's fact. We know it. We don't need a black Reed Richards. We didn't need a black Johnny Storm last time.
Did we have? Oh yeah, that's true. See, I always forget about that movie. Michael B. Jordan.
Exactly.
I think he wants to forget about that movie.
Yeah, probably.
Everybody wants to forget about that movie.
Yeah,
that's the thing that stuck. So for me, I don't necessarily want Reed Richards to be black. I hope that they don't do that. If Kang is going to be, I mean, much like Toby was saying, if they're going to kind of hint at that Daniel Richards is connected to this line, sure. If they do it far back enough, the way that Skinny and I have white in our heritage, then by all means, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a lot more complicated than like he's from a different dimension. In this dimension, all the Richards are black, and boom, that's it. You know what I mean?
But that's even an easier answer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Isn't Kang like friggin' purple? The Avengers
if they ever do a history piece about him, that's where there's issue.
Are you sure it's purple or his costume?
He's purple, or isn't he blue?
His skin's like
blue skin and he's a purple suit, or is it a
blue skin, purple outfit? I'm sure.
Yeah. There you go. So that's it. Like they evolved. They don't even have to explain shit.
True. That's true. That's true.
If you go far in the future, his people evolved because they're Kangs. Bomb.
Because they're Kangs.
They're
This is the same guy who also turned around, went back in time, became Ramatut, and then created like Apocalypse. So dog.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Who is also blue.
Yes, that's true.
Interesting.
I wonder if that was a thing. They were just like, we want to make blue characters.
Nah, it's all linked, I think. But I don't know.
That's huge. Has there been more news on the whole Fantastic Four side of things at all?
Not at all.
People are saying this news has led people to say that their Marvel is definitely planning.
But that's what were okay. So that's why I don't want to latch onto this at all. It's because before that it was John Krasinski and his wife, Emily Blunt, right? Yeah. Remember for the longest time, the past 2 years. Yeah, that's what we've been hearing in terms of Reed Richards. So like, I actually like that casting for what it is, right? But if you're gonna bring Kang in and he's related, that's why I prefer the whole different dimension, different opposites kind of situation going on, right?
I completely agree with Tobes on that.
I would prefer that, 100%.
Yeah. I also one of the other
crazy. Sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick, one of the other possibilities for Kang that I don't think anyone thought of, because everyone jumps so quickly to the Reader's one, the more known one. The one that I liked a lot that I don't think people care about much, Ahura Boltagon, who is the son of Black Bolt and Medusa, is also a Kang. A lot of people don't know that. Ahura Boltagon. Yeah, he's the son of Black Bolt. Yeah. There's a Kang who is the son of Black Bolt and Medusa. The reason he becomes Kang is because at one point Black Bolt is like time traveling and is trying to protect his son, so he takes the son to some spot in history and leaves the son with somebody, and that person ends up raising him as Kang.
But here's I don't know. That's Inhumans. They're not bringing Inhumans back into this world.
Why not?
No, man. Not with the X-Men coming back.
Guys, they're already bringing the Inhumans in. They're bringing in what's her name?
Miss Marvel. Yeah.
Come on, they're already doing it.
Okay, but you see how they changed Captain Marvel's origin?
Man,
her origin didn't change.
They're gonna change Miss Marvel's origin for Inhuman. So what are you gonna? The only option you have is to just make her a mutant. Then
there you go. She's not. That's what I'm saying. She'll be a mutant.
Yeah. I don't think she likes
it. Either way, you're introducing more Fox stuff.
Wait. I'm introducing what?
In either way, you're introducing something outside of Fox. You either have to introduce the mutants or the Inhumans through some kind of lineage, because none of these characters. Because that's the thing. None of these characters were owned by Marvel before. These are all characters that were technically owned by Fox.
Right. So I just don't think Inhumans. They only went the Inhumans route with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they didn't have those other options. Now they have those options. There's no way they're going back to something that they literally set Inhumans up to fail from day one. Why would you bring it?
They really did.
Yeah, but I mean,
Black Bolt is my favorite family, or a big part of Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
Not in this universe. look what they did to Black Bolt in the TV show.
As a true fan of Black Bolt, he's my favorite character. I'm telling you, there is a way to bring him and Medusa back with the Fantastic Four into the MCU through this Kang connection and make it work.
Terrigen Mist?
No, you're gonna need Terrigen Mist. What?
Then you're bringing in humans.
Yeah, but so what? You don't need to show the Terrigen Mist. The Terrigen Mist, dude. I remember when I was reading the comic book, the first time I ever saw Terrigen Mist used was when they had the Quicksilver comic after Wanda said no more mutants, and Quicksilver lost his fucking mind and decided he wanted to be a mutant again, and went to the moon and tricked them into letting him into the Terrigen Mist so he could have some form of his speed. And instead of being a speedster, he started to travel through time, and it messed up his whole body, and it caused a whole bunch of things. And every time he used the power, he was
can't take your powers, right? It is what
exactly.
it is.
Also, the Terrigen Mist technically kills mutants. That was another story that comes along later. Like, it didn't even make sense. Whoever wrote that story for Quicksilver, you done stuff. You really because.
So how bad would you feel if they just made them mutants? Period. In the MCU, they just say screw Inhumans, screw Terrigen Mist. These guys are just mutants. Whatever they decide creates mutants. Actually, mutants is just a latent power, right?
Yeah.
The Terrigen Mist also. If you have some latent power in you, brings that. They're all tied in some way, I guess, right?
Technically the Inhumans are a byproduct of the Kree-Skrull War, where the Krees were trying to build soldiers with powers. So that's why they created. They used humans and essentially tested on them, and the Terrigen Mist is what gives them their power.
Right.
Is there a connection to mutants and the mutant gene? I'm not mad at that theory. If you want to use
being the case though, and it's like I'll try to remember, yeah.
Because the comic book then runs into this. Why? Yo, in that case, that's up because 616 turns around and uses the mist to kill mutants for a full year. You had all the damn mutants being murdered off and killed every time they saw the mist. I remember one panel, they're all locked in a tower and they realize they're about to die. And I'm like, who is writing this? Why are you killing all your mutants? They're the most.
That's exactly why I think the movie universe, as much as they draw from the comic books, they've done a good job of separating themselves, period, from those lores, right? In a lot of different ways. So this could be another way where if you just do a different, I'm okay with, it's literally like another run. I've always seen the MCU as another run.
It is.
Right? And it's, it's essentially that,
it's
right?
Earth 199999.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So I would definitely love to just see changes, but at the rate and capacity they've been making those changes with the quality as well. Like I have zero complaints. The only movie I ever had a complaint about Marvel wise was I know a lot of people say Iron Man 3. It was Thor, the second Thor.
Yeah, the second Thor is the worst one.
That's the only one I've had a problem with. Iron Man, I was okay with all three. Matter of fact, going back, Iron Man 3 is better than people remember. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's solely up the strength of what's his name's acting. The Mandarin's acting. He's really good. Ben Kingsley kills that role, man, when you go back.
We're talking about Inhumans. We're talking about Iron Man 3, for Christ's sake. Like,
what do you think this show's about, bro? Look behind me. All right? There's some comic books behind me we're going to talk about.
Dave, are you saying that you don't respect the Inhumans?
Yeah.
You sick bastard.
It's a royal family we're talking about here. Black
like I can't say anything, but I don't respect them none. Oh, okay.
I didn't know Black Bolt was your favorite character though.
Yeah, Black Bolt is my. If you ever ask me who is my favorite character in the Marvel universe, Black Bolt's my favorite character.
Does he ever like? I know there's been a few incidences where he's spoken and things have gone badly.
Oh yeah,
but like, has he ever been able to just like? That must be torture, man. I never actually followed that run, like the Inhumans.
At one point in the comic book, there's a woman who, okay, super quick. At one point in the comic book, these two girls are the child of a character that dies, and the kids decide they want their mom back, so they get the blind guy reader. I don't know if you guys know who. I don't remember his name right now, but there's a blind guy in the Inhumans that can, if he writes it in Braille and reads it, he can make it come to be. So like he can time travel because he can like, you know, he can read traveled back 200 years and they'll travel back. His power is pretty crazy. So these two girls get their mother's entire life story from multiple friends and sources and stuff, and print a Braille book and ask the guy, can you bring our mother back? And the guy's just like, no, you don't understand how my power works. It's not guaranteed she'll come back as is. They guilt him into doing it. He does it.
Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, pretty much like a Lazarus Pit. Fucking perfect example. So the mom comes back, but her powers, because the way people described her powers isn't how her powers actually worked. And the point was, when she came back, she tells them, no one knows how my powers work. They just see my powers and understand it based on perception. But my powers work a specific way. And because the girls didn't know how to write that, the version of her that came back, her powers didn't adapt to people. She pulled people's powers out of them. And she accidentally pulls Black Bolt's powers out of him. And Black Bolt realizes, and as she's about to do something...
Who is this, bro?
No, it's not Rogue. Yeah, but like, he puts his finger on her mouth because he realizes immediately. I guess he just knows his power because he's always controlling himself, and he realized in that moment, I don't have to control myself. What happened? And he realizes she took his power, and he stops her because he realizes if she even whispers, she would blow up the whole room. And then like, the rest of the comic is like him trying to stop her and them trying to get rid of the. It was like, yeah. So Black Bolt's power that's one of the reasons I love him. This man is so powerful. The idea is that he is constantly trying to control what is essentially a sonic, like nuclear explosion
in his mouth.
Breath. In his mouth. Every breath. he at one point I was reading a comic where they're explaining like he can't even grind his teeth too loud because he's afraid of like he's afraid of when he's sleeping of making a noise. Like there's so many things that he does to train his body.
This guy burped by mistake over
anything. Yeah. Literally anything at this point.
You guys realize he killed his parents the first time when he got his powers, the first interaction he had was he spoke to his parents and killed them because he didn't know. And he speaks and he destroys his parents. That's
actually probably the worst hero's beginning I've heard in a long time.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's worse than Uncle Ben.
That's why he's one of my favorite characters. Honestly,
no, that's cool. I might pick up some Inhumans runs then to get more into this. I just picked up Eternals for the first time recently. So
shout out to Nathan. Nathan just tuned in.
Oh shit. Did you just pick that coming up? Oh, that's cool. Let me see here.
Yo, guys, in the comments, anyone watching, who's your favorite Marvel character? Let us know. We'll post up the favorite Marvel characters. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, once again, you can always catch us live 6:30 on Wednesdays, and then you can be part of the conversation.
Who is your favorite character and why? If you could include why, that'd be good too.
Yeah, true. And why? Obviously, don't make it a paragraph, guys, because we can't. As much as we would love it to be a paragraph.
Speaking of characters,
yes,
can we talk about Stormfront? I'm kind of confused. I want to get it. Yes. Let's talk about
hold on. We got a quick message this week. Once again, if you guys tuned in last week and if you're tuning in this week, the Morning Detour, make sure you check it out on CKUT 90.3 in Montreal or ckut.ca. On Fridays, 7 a.m., the Morning Detour reps the Franklin Armstrong Collective, and they have another contest this week. So check it out. We're back. Yes, Black Bolts. Blackagar Boltagon, one of the leader of the Inhumans, husband of Queen Medusa, brother of what's his name, Maximus, whose power is essentially just manipulation. He doesn't have a power, which was the whole thing. He just manipulates people all the time, like a jackass.
Wow, 2 people said Iron Man.
Oh, people, yeah, people are already posting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guys, if you're gonna say Iron Man, y'all gotta explain why, though. You can't just say Iron Man
because he's a. Put the comments up.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's.
Iron Man, why?
So Nathan wrote that his favorite character is Iron Man. Reason? Because he's a pimp.
He's a pimp.
That is hilarious.
Not as much as Bruce Wayne, though. I gotta say, but but he's close. He's close.
I will.
Not as much as T'Challa.
Yeah, true. T'Challa is actually one of the biggest players.
What's funny about it is T'Challa doesn't even try. Just is.
True. Yeah, but we know why. We know why T'Challa don't gotta try much.
We know why.
Because he's a king. Because he's technically. The first time T'Challa
we're trying to make us say it, but we're not gonna say it.
Yeah, we don't gotta say anything. If you guys look up the first time he meets Sue Storm, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You see how Sue Storm looks over Reed Richards' shoulder like, okay. Young, handsome man studying in New York. Let me discuss that.
Listen, if they don't make Sue Storm a hoe in the Marvel Universe, I'll be mad. Okay? Because Sue Storm needs to be a side-eyed hoe. Like, I need that. I need her to be looking at other niggas.
Was that a big focal point of her as a character, though?
Yeah, but not really.
That's the thing. She might have had one moment or two of indiscretion, but that's about it.
I need her to be like, Reed, come here, and I need Reed to ignore her ass to the point where, like, Tony's got to be like, listen, or somebody has to be like, Reed.
I was going to say Tony's dead.
Yeah. Tony, sweaty ass Tony.
I gotta say though, I agree with Skinny. The idea that Sue Storm is out here just looking at every other man every other 2 seconds, like Doom, T'Challa, everyone's always trying to. Yeah, everyone. Sue Storm is one of the most coveted women, and I'm not saying
why.
Because back then, blonde was the hotness, and that's just what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah, because I remember, like, if anyone, it should be Emma Frost, if that's the case, because look what she's wearing.
I mean, right? Emma Frost is coveted, but you know, that's the thing. And if you were a mutant, they wrote it that the mutants were treated poorly. So even if you're
regardless,
which doesn't make sense, because in the Marvel universe, the difference between Emma Frost and Sue Storm is one got hit with cosmic rays in space, and the other one is from Earth and nothing but just evolved. But you, for some reason, hate this poor evolved woman who had no control over her situation. But the crazy girl whose boyfriend is a billionaire and took her up into space, and she got hit with cosmic rays, she's the one you want to sleep with for some odd reason.
She's always flirting with other people. Like
she went. Yeah, he got her consent to take her to space, though. She went. It wasn't against her will.
He got his consent. In the bedroom and in space, he got consent.
Johnny's also her brother, and he's a hoe too.
See, Johnny, that was a huge part of his character. So him,
that is 100%. A huge part.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well make the guy look bad.
Wait. We got to make this episode title "Genetic Hoe Tendencies."
Hoes are your enemies?
No.
Oh my God! Genetic hoe tendencies.
Man. Being a hoe, it's in the genes.
Oh my God!
All right, so let's talk about the boys.
Yes, let's hit it.
Season 2 has not been a disappointment. I'll say that. Season 2 has not been a disappointment.
I guess the first topic I want to talk about then is Black Noir. What do you think of what we've seen compared to last season? Do you have any questions about what you've seen?
I think Black Noir is being more aggressive this season and seems to have healing factor. Is that what we're understanding? Because
he got blown up.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Wait,
to anyone listening.
Yeah. That's what we should say. That actually, for episodes 1 to 4. If you haven't seen them yet, just
I mean, I put it up. View the Right Thing, the boys. I put it on the screen, so if you guys are watching, hopefully you understood where we were going. We've been saying it.
I think they're starting to prime Black Noir because based off of things that are happening now, there's going to be a major shift in the teams. Like, there's so many. I'm curious I want to do a hypothesis thing at one point about various things, but I think Black Noir is going to be important later, so they have to give him attention now. I think they're setting him up for something.
Because he's the one who's like going on these important missions.
And that's
he's actually the only person Homelander trusts in the 7.
Okay, I was gonna say, is Homelander sending him on these missions? Is that
100%?
Okay,
100%. Like Homelander probably doesn't need to send him on these missions because Black Noir knows what Homelander wants.
But then why did Homelander make a gentleman's agreement? I mean, I know it's not shocking for Homelander to break an agreement, but he made an agreement with Billy the Butcher that something's squeaking, y'all. He made an agreement with it's you.
I didn't realize it made that much noise.
Yeah. I'm like, something is driving me nuts. For those of you listening at home, Toby always working out in the middle of the show, working out his grip strength for some odd because he needs to You're already built like a Black Hulk, you sick fuck. Why do you need to
Thank you for saying that.
Over here just working out.
I want that to be the name of the episode. You're built like a Black Hulk motherfucker.
Yo, I am sweating.
We're doing a podcast. This man in the middle of the podcast under the table. Still got to work out. Grip strength, maybe. Like, okay.
Yo, that's so funny. I didn't realize it was making noise like that too, because I have my headphones on, so I'm not hearing the.
Wild time.
Anyway, sorry.
I was Billy the Butcher and Homelander seem to. If you guys haven't seen it, there seems to be some kind of gentleman's agreement, because at the end of season 1, you find out that Homelander did sexually assault. You know what? No. Homelander raped Becca, who is Billy the Butcher's wife.
Yeah.
And she got pregnant. She has the kid. And that's how the season ends, season 1. Season 2, you find out that Billy got to see her, but then Homelander made a deal with Becca that not to kill him, or Becca would tell the kid that your father's a monster and would kill herself in front of the kid as she said that to him, to really scar the kid and mess him up for life. So in which case he would hate Homelander forever. So, and Homelander for some odd reason all of a sudden cares about being a father. I don't understand why. But that's why there's a gentleman's agreement. Why does he all of a sudden care if, like, you know, I guess it goes to what Toby's saying, that Black Noir is working for Homelander and essentially circumventing the agreement they have, which makes sense. It makes perfect sense when you point it out. I was just thinking it's weird, but yeah, you're right. That does make sense.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. And I like the fact that we were seeing more sides to his powers, because actually, if you go on on Amazon and check, like, they have like character profiles on the main page of the boys, yeah, and it actually says no one knows, even in VOT, the true extent of Black Noir's power. So I think we're still waiting for some crazy shit to come out of his power.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see where this is going, but I'm happy that we're seeing more of it.
Is Black Noir going to be black? Because I know the actor is black, but do you think they're going to make the character black if we ever see him?
What's funny is I think his skin is permanently burnt off.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I think too. I don't think he heals in that sense.
Oh God!
You think he heals like internally, but not like skin?
Ugh.
I think his powers. I think whatever gave him his powers completely disfigured him, and he's like looks like that to begin with.
Okay,
would make sense.
Yeah, like why else would he be wearing the whole thing?
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, one of the things that I like about Black Noir is easily the scariest character on the show. I would dare say possibly scarier than Homelander or Stormfront when it comes to the perception. Like when people see
that's a good point.
Yeah, when people see Homelander, they're scared of Homelander because they know they don't know that Homelander's a murderer, right? As far as
exactly. But
they know he's aggressive, but they don't know he's murderer.
They know he's super strong and he can clap and kill you in 2 seconds. So like just knowing your enemy, you're afraid of him.
Exactly.
But there's also a fear of the unknown.
Exactly. Yeah. And when it comes to Black Noir, that dude hands the girl a note in that lab and then doesn't say anything. And the girl's like, oh, I'll get to it later. And he just doesn't move. And she's just like, cool, I guess we're doing this now. And then you realize she, like, I don't know how many days, but I don't know if it was because when you're watching the show, remember that that Butcher goes to see Becca, hangs out with her, spends the night, wakes up. This whole time, when you go back to the computer lab, they're still sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
So was she there the whole time? She never left?
Yep. She's writing his image through facial recognition. And as we know, Butcher is good at evading those things. So who knows how long it'll take them to realize he was there to begin with, which could probably get Becca in trouble because they now know that Butcher was around. And that probably will be the second half of the season will be that.
Yeah. But I mean,
and he's going to have to save Becca and the kid.
Interesting. Okay.
Dave, it's a theory. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say there's just been so many... this season's been filled with both so many interesting developments as characters and storyline, but there's so many like shock moments that it's hard to like. It's almost hard to like.
Like which one?
Well, example when he randomly kills the.
Who's he? Sorry.
When Homelander randomly kills the guy who's supposed to be the
Black Noir,
the new Black Noir or whatever.
No, you're talking about
just like
the guy who's blind and the Daredevil character.
Yeah,
like out of nowhere, it's like clack. You're like,
I didn't.
When the girl head explodes randomly, when she's like, "Oh, I know what the CIA girl, the CIA director or whatever, her death's like freaking."
I see what you're saying. They're definitely more.
Did Homelander kill her? Oh, okay.
No, that's the thing. No one knows. She was about to spill some type of information or potentially spill some type of information. She got a nosebleed and then her head exploded.
You know
They're
what I
assuming
think?
that it's Stormfront a la Leviathan or whatever the girl's what's?
Are you talking about Liberty?
Liberty, yeah, because Liberty's supposed to be Stormfront, right? So
that's what we're supposed to think, yeah.
So it could be her somehow, but like if she was going to kill her in that one moment because she was overhearing that, why not just kill all the boys at that point? Like, I don't understand how that happened.
Did she overhear? Was she close by?
I don't.
Well, who knows? But that's the only thing they insinuated in the show at one point, that it could have been her.
So I think what's happening is that the CIA doesn't know that they're also being watched by Vought, and there might be like some kind of chip or some kind of implant or something a la Suicide Squad that caused that.
Oh shit! You think
that's a good one? I didn't think of that one.
Yeah,
because it was just so random.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about. I like the season so far, but I don't know how I feel about how the characters are unrolling. Like the storyline with the Deep and what seems to be like a cult. I'm not interested in a cult.
I'm not interested in that at all. Matter of fact, I fast forward through a lot of those scenes.
Yeah, like I like the Deep as a character because I like
good at first.
Huh?
Yeah,
they were good at first, and then it kind of got all right.
It got too much. It got too long.
When he came back on the whale in the last episode, and I was like, okay, he's gonna get back into this. But then he didn't get back into the 7, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But then he goes back to the. It just didn't. His story right now doesn't make sense to me as much.
Yeah, and I'm not finding his story interesting. I'm not feeling. Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks because I think Chase Crawford is doing a good job as a character, like the Deep, because they're doing the character of the Aquaman archetype justice. Like the idea that like Aquaman has always been a joke. It's only now that people are starting to respect Aquaman, and that's only because Momoa is in the role. If you like, you had to get someone that people really like to do the character. If not, you still wouldn't have had people give a damn. And I think what they're doing with Chase Crawford, addressing the whole Aquaman archetype and how he doesn't feel comfortable in his spot because he realizes like, well, my use to this team is literally water-based, and not every mission is going to need water. We're not always. Also, what good is a guy who can manipulate water when you have someone that can laser beams out of their eyes and has super speed, or a speedster? Like, what is my water and my whale power? Oh, they were on a boat. I was able to find them. As if Homelander couldn't have flown over and also spotted them. You know what I mean? Or hell, even A-Train running on water, if he's fast enough, would have found them. Like. So I like what they're doing with the Deep in addressing that, but the only problem is they're not doing a good job at addressing it because his story in the back end isn't interesting. Like I don't find his scenes interesting.
But they've done some other, like I think A-Train's story has been pretty interesting. Starlight and Huey, like the whole dynamic there has been fun. I can't believe how quick they wrapped up Billy's thing with Becca, though. That's something I was a little surprised about. Like, well, in one episode, he sees her and she basically tells him to leave. Like, don't get me wrong, it was pretty obvious that was going to happen because, like, like the second she has a super son, he's not going to want the son, and that's going to be conflict. Like, you knew that right away, but I'm just surprised how quick that went down. Although I liked the ride on the way there.
Did you think that? I didn't think, like, when she started saying you don't like my son, I thought Butcher's issue was more with Vought as an organization and not Soups specifically.
But then he lost his cool and says soup freak, and that proves her point right away. So she left. It's like, I get what you're saying because I didn't get the point that he didn't want the kid there. He was trying to save her and the kid.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she knows that if it ever came down to it and Vought was chasing them, he would have no problem turning the son over. Yeah,
especially since it's not his kid. It's Homelander.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing, right? Is it Homelander, the guy that raped his wife?
Exactly. Yeah. So that in itself is a hurdle to get over. But on the other side of it, she knows because that is one and is not his kid, he will give up the kid for sure. And like, you can't ask a mother to abandon her child, regardless of how the child came about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what I was actually
depending on if she wants the child, obviously.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But look, she wants the kid, obviously.
Yeah. We touch on that in Raised by Wolves.
He's exactly because he's innocent in all this. At the end of the day.
Yeah, fair.
But what I was hoping they would do, but I was like, there was a slim chances. I was hoping he was gonna be, yep, I'm completely down with your son, and the side story was gonna be like, I'm gonna train this guy to kill all the Soups.
I for a second thought that.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was hoping. It's like, wait, so you you're gonna let Billy the Butcher raise a Homelander? Yo, that's amazing. Like, that him with a team, like him and the boys with a mini, like that. I thought that would be so dope. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be as realistic. Like, I don't know if you guys have been watching Prime Rewind Inside the Boys, the like after show. Tyler. Yeah, they had like all the different characters and actors have been on the show and stuff. And Aisha Tyler was talking to Kripke, who worked on Supernatural and is the showrunner for this show. And when Kripke talks about it, he very much is explaining like, yeah, the main point of this entire show is to do superheroes set in the real world as much as possible. Like, we're not, you know, we understand that superheroes existing in the real world in itself is an insane idea, but if we can try and base it in the real world in some way, how would we do that? And that's why, you know, superheroes aren't the commodity, the pharmaceuticals are, and like stuff like that. And that's very interesting. So,
you know what I found a little odd, and maybe you guys can clarify it, is when this whole Compound V news came out, it became this whole media thing, but it still has no effect on the heroes or the story.
It had effect on the heroes.
D story.
They emphasized it more on Starlight, but like you could tell that there was some dissent within. It's just that I also find that a lot of the characters that we're exposed to kind of already knew. Like Homelander already knew. Clearly Black Noir already knew. A-Train, I believe, already knew.
I don't think Black Noir knew, because when you see Black Noir getting the news...
Oh, yes, he does have emotion. He does have emotion.
Yeah.
Which is also weird. That's why this guy freaks me out.
Like, take off your mask and cry, dude. Like, what is happening?
And like at the beginning of the episode there in episode 1, I think, where he goes to catch the supervillain, and he sees the supervillain's son is there, and he does this like dance with the teddy bear for the kid before leaving. I was like, this guy is a sicko. Matter of fact, that's a psycho. Like,
he has a big
crazy.
Man.
Huh?
What did you say, Skinny?
Black Noir actually wants to be a hero. He has a big heart. He follows Homelander because he thinks what he's doing is right. Done.
No freaking way. I don't think so.
300%.
I don't think so. I think he's a psychopath, and that girl in the episode 3 proved that he's a psychopath.
He's only a psychopath because he was led by Homelander, but he has a good heart.
No. Okay, here's the difference. Homelander comes into the room and says, look something up for me. The girl will be like, well, I have to run it up to the higher ups. Homelander will get mad and be like, all right, fine. She'll do that. She did not do that with Black Noir, bro. She straight up did it.
Well, yeah, because obviously he has a reputation of a stone cold killer.
Well, like, that means it's crazy.
There's stone cold killers out there who have hearts. Dexter being one.
He's a sociopath too.
Yeah,
I would have trusted Dexter.
Dexter.
There's some good psychos out there, Toby. I mean, come on. It's not saying.
Are you guys?
Hold on. That's the title. There's some good psychos out there.
Wait. I want Frank Castle. Wait, we all root for Frank Castle, but what? He's not a psycho?
Of course he is.
Oh, fair.
He's a good person.
He's not a good person.
He's not a good person.
No.
Ryan, you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But I don't agree that they are good people. You just like the character.
Hold on. I'll say what he's trying to say. There are morally correct psychos. So they are bad people, but their moral core, like Dexter, because that's the thing. Dexter had a moral core.
Dexter didn't have a moral core. Dexter had a book of code that his crazy ass dad gave to him, which he ended up.
That was the morality that he needed to live.
There was nothing moral about it.
Wolverine.
He's killing people.
How about James Howlett?
He's killing bad people.
Does that make it right?
No.
There you go. So he's not a good person.
I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm saying he's following. Yeah, that's true.
That's the whole thing.
I'm not saying the good person is the wrong thing. I'm saying that they have good intentions.
Yes.
I get it.
Big heart.
You can empathize. You can empathize with their side of the pain because you understand it must hurt that much. But
not so much that I feel like they're just misguided. Black Noir is going to come out on top. Watch, I'm telling you.
I hope so. I like his character. I hope he ends up somehow coming out of his shell a bit.
He will.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that's so good. There are some good psychos out there. Just not the Jeffrey Dahmer kind. That's great. Who else? Who else on the show?
Devin's asking real quick if we read the comic. Yeah, Devin, I read the first 2 volumes of the comic book.
We actually have an episode of That's Canon coming out about the boy specifically. That's Canon is our podcast we do based on comic books solely.
Yeah.
That episode will be coming out soon.
Yeah. There you go.
But speaking of psychos, though, my question to you is, what do you think is the end game in regards to Homelander and Stormfront?
Oh,
the end game.
They're gonna get into some weird kinky shit.
Oh,
they are. No. They're gonna get into some weird stuff where like she's.
How old is Liberty or Stormfront?
Who knows? She's
over 70 years old. Who knows?
So she is it that she doesn't age the same, or is it that she is immortal?
We don't. I mean, that's what we're assuming at this point.
Is she immortal though?
I don't know if she's immortal, but if you go by the comic book, Stormfront is Third Reich. He was a Nazi. He was a full-on Nazi. He was in the Third Reich. So you're talking World War II.
Yeah, she's crazy. I mean, she killed a black dude for being black in 1972. So, or 78, whatever year that was.
Yeah.
I agree.
Dave did read the comics, Devin. He's on the podcast with us, actually.
Yeah.
It's me, Dave, and Doc that are doing this podcast.
That's canon.
But I think I agree. Either A, they're going to obviously probably fight and then have, the nasty.
Yeah, he's going to realize he finally found his equal because no one else has been as strong as him.
Do you think they're going to evolve it like Power? What's that alternate universe for Superman in there? It's like Power Man and Power
Injustice League?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think it's going to be like that?
Crime Syndicate of America. They're not going that far. The boys, Eric Kripke, again, is trying to write a comic book set in a world where heroes exist, and Crime Syndicate of America is too far off left field. Like, those guys run their earth like the mob. Like, they have made men, and, like, it's a whole crazy thing.
But I'll say this.
That far with it, I don't think it makes sense to write it that way. Sorry.
But I'll say this, though. If at one point in time Stormfront becomes the actual leader of the group, I would guarantee that Homelander's reaction will be like, oh, since I can't be the leader of the good guys, I'm going to be the leader of the bad guys. And he's going to go full super villain. Hardcore.
Oh, you're talking
or vice versa.
You're talking
Devin says it'll get dirty.
Yeah, there's already in a preview for one of the episodes that I saw, Homelander hits her in the chest with the laser with like his heat vision, and she just opens her shirt and tells him to do it again. Like,
oh,
it's gonna get weird. Yeah, it's gonna get weird. I don't know.
This is right in line with the show. So as repulsed as I just felt, I'm excited to see that at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see where their relationship goes because I actually wanted him to fight to the death. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, her dead like yesterday.
Yeah, she is evil. She is like,
she's the epitome of evil.
I don't really like looking at her face anymore. Like I liked her a bit, and I was like, oh shit, she's racist. Damn.
Well, that's the reason you don't like her.
Yeah, not because of the mask rings and everything.
Yeah,
you guys didn't hear me rooting for psychos. The fuck you want?
I support psychos, but if
I guess that's right in line with.
Dave, that's where the line's drawn. Racism.
That's where the line's drawn. Kills babies? No,
it's true. It's true. I should have known based on your previous accommodations for the Punisher. That would have been your life.
Oh my!
You don't even know me.
Great.
It's like you don't even know me.
Y'all are sick. Y'all are sick.
Man. Yo, you know whose storyline I'm getting tired of?
Who?
Starlight.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Starlight anymore.
Wait, she just started her storyline. What do you mean? She's
started. The whole first season had to do with her and this dude. I'm tired of that relationship, bruh.
I don't care that your eyes light up when you have sex. I don't care.
It's whack.
That's what you're talking about. Okay.
It's such a whack relationship. There's like no substance.
I thought you were talking about the fact that she's becoming the hero she said she wanted to be. Like,
I would love for her to do that. Less Huey.
Less Huey.
But
you just don't want there to be Huey then.
He's the star of the comic, which is great. There's so many other things for him to do. Matter of fact, the first season was his vengeance for his girlfriend.
Yeah,
actually, not even an ex, because they were together when she died. But his beloved and departed girlfriend.
Yeah.
But after getting a relationship with her, the whole thing that happened, she doesn't trust him. I don't believe them. I don't believe what holds them together. That cheesy ass in the car ride, sing along, all that shit needs to go.
Interesting.
All that shit needs to go. I don't like it.
Mean, Devin is saying she's a drag in the comic book too. I mean, I get it. Like in the comic book, she's not great. I thought I like her more in the show. I think I think she's doing a good job with the character in the show, to be honest. Erin Moriarty does a really good job as the character. So,
she does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I could never do that same role. I know how hard it is to be an actor and stuff like that. I'm just saying the storyline they have them both on right now is not of interest to me. Make her a hero, make her join the crew, but I don't need their connection. Just think about it. Is their connection needed in any way right now?
Right. It's one of those times where like you don't need those two to be romantically linked. She could just generally want to be a good hero.
That's
and you
it.
you could move the story along with that. I agree. That part of it, yeah. But you know why that's there.
Yes, of course.
It's the usual, you need a love interest because Hollywood thinks that female viewers need that.
What movie did we just watch recently? Oh, we just no, was it Tenet? We said that didn't have a love interest, but we liked.
Yeah, Tenet did not have a love triangle like everyone pretended.
Yeah,
for 2 seconds it does.
You don't need it to
further.
further.
I don't understand why they thought it did. He had no interest in it.
Yeah, there was no interest in Tenet. Sorry,
but I mean, I think that covers everything on The Boys. We can get to. I have 2 shows that I want to talk about. I think I'll save my response for one of them for when Skinny jumps on his. But Netflix away. I'll do super quick. Thumbs up. I don't even want to go into the details. It's about people. It's about Earth's first mission to Mars. 5 people in space and how it affects their families. Fun watch. Quick run. 10 episodes. Interesting. I say thumbs up. That's it.
It's
That's
a space This Is Us. Less dramatic. Much less dramatic. But still as high in emotion. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the space stuff is actually really cool. It's almost feels accurate, actually.
Yes. Yes, yeah. I would say that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you guys watched? Toby, you said you watched Raised by Wolves.
Yeah. Where did this show come from?
I know, right? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you just giving a quick review, or are we discussing it? Because I also watched it.
We could discuss it for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing any promo for this, anything like that. I just went on Amazon. Sorry, is it on Amazon?
I have it on Crave.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just went online. I was looking for a show to watch, and I saw Raised by Wolves, and I saw like a woman or something holding a kid. I was like, let me check this out. And from the moment I turned it on, I was interested. Amazing concept in terms of like the futuristic dystopian. It's a world where religion kind of ended the world, so to speak.
So our world.
Yeah. Like it's based in a world where like there are atheists and then there are believers, and they go to war, and their war pretty much destroys much of the earth.
Yeah.
And then they have to, whoever's left, they actually are on these arcs heading to a different planet.
Yeah.
And then you also have the atheists created these androids, right? It was the atheists or the believers.
The atheists created the believers created androids. The atheist was one of the atheists was like a super genius who adapted,
reprogrammed and hacked 2 of the androids for a different purpose. So he reprogrammed this one android called Mother, who is what's called a necromancer. She pretty much is just made for destruction.
Yo,
and he was able. Her powers like she's OP.
Yo. Yeah. It does, like when you're watching the show and you see her use her powers the first time, you're like, what? Like, because you don't know she has these powers for like a full episode to 2 episodes. You don't know that this person has powers, and then all of a sudden she turns into a golden statue floating through space and just has a like siren banshee scream that disintegrates. She's insanely
actually,
OP.
That's pretty much Black Bolt's scream. Yeah.
But it's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. And the show after watching the show after that is essentially watching something again like Homelander, where you realize that there's someone in the room that could murder everyone, and you're never comfortable with it. It's crazy.
And the whole point, the reason why he reprogrammed her was to like repopulate humanity, but he programmed her as an atheist. Because he felt like the reason the world went to shit was because of religion and people's beliefs and faith and stuff like that. So he sent her off to a different planet in a spaceship, kind of like Superman, with about 6 embryos.
Yeah. Actually, more embryos, but only 6 of them took.
Was it more than 6?
Yeah, because there's like an episode later on where they were like playing with the leftover embryos.
Oh, right. Yeah. But anyway, he made her also like biologically in some way be able to carry them to term in some way, which I can't get into. This. So the science in this show is obviously make-believe science. At the end of the day. But anyway, it's just the pacing is incredible. Their survival on this planet, this android trying to sort of raise human kids, and thinking she understands emotion, but not really. And she has a partner, by the way.
Father.
The hacker gave her the name Mother, and he gave the guy the name Father. So the kids called them Mother and Father, these 2 androids. And it's just like the relationship is crazy. Then they have this one kid who's like, they named after the hacker, his name is Campion. And he's like the prized kid. Anyway, this whole show is incredible. The guy from Vikings plays one of the believers.
Oh,
Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, so I won't explain too much. You're right. He plays one of the believers. Bong, go ahead. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. He's incredible in the role. The girl who plays opposite him as his wife also is incredible.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah. But this concept, this idea, this is original to me.
Yes, dude. You know how we always talk about it. 6,000 years of telling stories. We talk about it on this show all the time. No original ideas under the sun. Yeah. There technically the idea of religious war is not original, but the way they're approaching it seems original. It
was so bizarre and out of this world that I had no choice but to watch and see where it was going. There was nothing I could predict, nothing I knew that felt familiar, but it was good at the same time. It's incredible. I'm actually surprised. The actors who play the androids, oh my god.
Yeah. I didn't realize Mother was going to end up being how she was. And since then, I've been so.
Oh, are you caught up on episode 5?
The last episode I saw was the one. No, she saves Peter. She comes back. They're at the base. They're eating the meat. I don't know if I'm.
Okay. All right. I want you to catch up fully.
What did the episodes come out on?
I watched them both yesterday, so they might have come out yesterday.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. 4 and 5 came out yesterday. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, our recommendation, we're both giving it a thumbs up. You should definitely watch it.
Way up.
Yeah.
Is that the one that is it Ridley Scott or something?
Ridley Scott.
Is it Ridley Scott or Jerry Bruckheimer?
Directing it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's Ridley Scott who's directing it.
Let me
then we have this last one, guys. Skinny. I'm looking forward to discussing this with you because
did you watch it?
I watched it. I have comments.
I didn't watch it. It doesn't interest me.
It should because
well, let's hear it.
I can't do it justice. You need to watch this shit.
You need to watch.
Is it one of those preachy documentaries, or is it a documentary saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. You decide."
Hey, this is what's happening. You decide.
Yes.
While also touching on preachy, but it's kind of like good preachy because you're kind of like, yeah.
But you know what? I would dare say they're not even trying to preach. I would say, and I
kind of saying it's too late.
Yeah, Skinny's right. Skinny hit it on the head. It's kind of this thing of, we're gonna tell you the facts as we know them as people who worked. Like, okay, think of it this way: if Oppenheimer had got the chance to do a documentary about building the atomic bomb, and got to tell you how bad it was that he built the atomic bomb and made the documentary about it, that would be the equivalent of the people who worked in social media companies making this. They're essentially telling you, we made an atomic bomb. It is destroying the world, but You guys decide for yourselves what you want to do. We're just gonna tell you what we did. So yeah, we made some dangerous stuff, and this is it. Then
I didn't hit the like button.
So it is good information to be. It's not like something with. I feel like I've heard a lot of this stuff. I've been looking the past year or two. I've been kind of like all over this stuff.
You've heard it, but the way they orchestrate it and show you it through examples is super fucked.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what the ass? Like,
it's no different from Cambridge Analytica, just more laid out to you.
It makes like. Listen, Tobi, after you watch this, none of your posts matter. Nothing.
But okay.
Is that so? Whoa.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I give it a thumbs down because everything they say here, and I realize as I say this that I'm saying this from a position of privilege. I got to go to university. I got to take a propaganda class. I got to learn propaganda from a professor who studied propaganda his whole life. So when I watched this, everything they were saying, I was just like, yes, this is all the mill of propaganda heightened. And the reason I can say that is, I'll give you guys an example. War of the Worlds, the original radio play. You guys know the story behind that?
Orwell?
No.
Orwell, yeah. The original radio play caused such a pandemic, such a stir and a freak out because people who didn't hear the introduction thought it was a real broadcast and thought aliens were actually attacking the planet, and they freaked out. And when I say freak out, legit pandemonium, because people thought aliens have arrived and the world is ending. Now, the only reason Orwell's thing didn't spread further is because radio technology didn't allow for him to play that entire piece globally. So essentially, if you take that same approach and just move it to the internet where the global village is now everyone connected, it's the exact same thing. Nothing's changed. It's just the technology is heightened. Yes, the algorithms target you specifically, and you know, I admit the algorithm works on me, right? Like I order more stuff on Amazon now than I did before. Why? Because the algorithm has trained me to want to purchase things and to have them as quickly as possible. I acknowledge that fact, but that's the other thing. I knew that all along going in, that I was being manipulated. I feel like this documentary is for a lot of younger people
that don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, like that's it. That's why I said I'm coming from a position of privilege. I was in university. I got to take this class. I didn't grow up in the internet age. I'm not a generation. I'm a Generation X kid. I'm not a Generation Z or Generation Alpha. Like those two generations are essentially fucked. Like they're that's it. They don't have. They're never going to grow up in a world where their interactions, and this is one of the main points that was made by the dude Jaren with the dreads, and it's. No interaction these kids make is done purely without manipulation, because even the interaction on the social media platform they're using is manipulated. So you live in a world where every interaction you've ever had through social media, through the internet that connects you with your friends, is a manipulated communication. Whereas we grew up without that. You know, the first time we were on the internet was the Wild West. No one knew what was going on, but we also grew up protecting ourselves because everyone told you the person on the other end is a creepy old man who's masturbating to your messages and they're going to try and kidnap you. Right? I mean, that's what we were all told. Legit. Like it was like constant message about the internet when we were kids was someone's coming to kidnap you.
Yeah, that's true. It was 100%. That, I mean, to catch a predator.
Yeah. So we were on guard, but these kids aren't on guard because they're talking to their friends. And because they put their guard down, the manipulation from the software and the system is
rampant. I guarantee you're right that they give away far more information than you and I probably do.
Oh, no. Yeah. 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is why it's important that it's out there. It may feel late to us. I get what you're saying too, Doc, that it's almost like, well, we already stepped outside after the nuclear bomb went off. So chances are we are radioactive. Like we do have radioactive poisoning or whatever. But the kids that are indoors who don't know what's going on outside need to kind of get a little peek outside to see, hey, like, just so you know, if you do these actions, this is what's happening. And then you make your decision from there on out how much of it you're willing, because we need, unless you're going dark web.
Yeah.
Right? We're in it.
Yeah.
This is what we're in, and we can try to put legislations in place, put things in place to stop it from getting worse than it is right now. But that's, aside from shutting ourselves off completely and going off the grid, I don't see a better solution other than making sure people pay now that we know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the guys had this really good concept about taxing. He wants to introduce a tax for if the companies had a tax for how many users data collection, they'd be less likely to just rampantly collect.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to limit how much data, like the same way like money. Like you get taxed more based on the more money you have. Well, you're supposed to. That's a whole other conversation. But like the data would be taxed. So if you collect data by this many terabytes, then you would pay this much for it. If you start to go into the next level above terabytes, then you're going to pay way more, and so on and so forth, so that the companies would limit themselves so that they're not constantly just paying insane amounts of money. But likelihood, that's the other thing. That watching this documentary, the last thought I had when I was watching and I got up at the end was the social dilemma is to social media what Super Size Me was to McDonald's. You're giving us a great insight into it, but at the end of the day, McDonald's didn't lose a thing.
And it'll change the culture around it. Hopefully, that's what you want.
Conversations.
Exactly. Same way with McDonald's. A ton more people now know it's unhealthy because of that. Because this guy went to the extreme of showing you what it is doing to you. But those companies are gonna find ways to stay relevant.
Also, the company, dude, the documentary is on Netflix, and Netflix is the be all and end all of algorithms. Like, you know what I mean?
So
you know why we don't watch the social dilemma? Because Netflix manipulated us into watching the documentary.
Oh,
that's funny.
How deep does the rabbit hole go?
You know,
that's deep.
I liked it.
Oh,
it's a thumbs up from Skinny. He's recommending us watch it, and I might actually.
I liked it.
Yeah, because you said it, now I will.
I changed my thing. It is a thumbs up. Again, like I said, I recognize that I was coming from a position of privilege where I got to learn about propaganda, and I saw this as like, I've done this before. Why are we repeating it? But that's not really fair. So
you know how many people don't know? I'm not coming from them, but I know them, and there's a lot of people that don't know, and a lot of people that really should watch this because of just I've seen humans that have been normal and not normal, but you know what I mean, have been fine, and social media is just
messed
up. Like it's nuts. It's scary, legit. They say, as they said in there, Brian, you're talking about it. We talk about the AI that's going to take over or whatever. It's already here.
Yeah. The only difference between what they were discussing and what I'm discussing is when I say the AI, I'm talking about the singularity where it becomes self-aware. But it's very interesting to learn from them that the AI doesn't have to be self-aware for it to do things without humans being able to understand what it's doing.
Because it's training us while it's also learning.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think, did you guys ever see the study where they had two AIs communicate and the AIs started to abbreviate the communication to shorten like, and
they started communicating in their own language, and the engineers couldn't decipher it, so they shut them down.
It wasn't self-aware, but it was just that it could.
Oh, I can do this quicker.
Yeah, I can communicate quicker with this other person, with this other machine, and the humans had no clue what they were discussing because they couldn't decipher the code. So they're not self-aware, but they're able to have conversations without us, and that's the scary part.
No thanks.
That's the part that people should be concerned about.
Yeah,
they're not self-aware. They are able to communicate without us understanding at all what they're saying.
Yeah,
and terrified.
No, I love it. I love it. I want all the AIs. I want all the aliens. I want all that shit. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to live in 2051 already.
No, they're gonna start throwing out subtle messages about suicide, just like they throw up a Google ad about that next Amazon thing you want. You'll see. Hey, buy this gun. Yeah, do that. Watch, we'll start seeing that.
In the documentary, when they had that kind of movie part, the kid at one point, there's like that ad about the guy. There's like an ad about buying guns, and then there's like a guy actively talking on a YouTube video about like, I'll do this by any means necessary. I'm willing to die for the cause. And the kid's watching the video, and you're like, Jesus Christ! And then the guy from Mad Men is just like, we just sold that gun ad for 3.4 mil, and I was like, oh my god, this is bad.
What's crazy about people talking about singularity and all these things is that you're always going to have the good and you're always going to have the bad. It's the way our world has been divided from the beginning of time, right? The good people using the technology wanted to benefit mankind, whereas the bad obviously have their own agenda. So like the Skynet, like Lee J just said, the Skynet type of situation and stuff like that really comes out of what you just said in terms of like subliminally posting these things and influencing human behavior enough to wreck the world. And that's not the AI doing it actively, right? But someone programming those biases in to affect society, like we're actually seeing today. What's happening right now in the world, in America, for example, is legit mostly social media.
Yeah, dude, what was it that they were talking about, the flat earthers? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to give any more. Go watch the documentary. No, because it's true. Skinny and I are like, we're telling you guys about segments when it's just like the weight of it when we say it is nothing compared to when they show you the actual information about how this was done. So
I genuinely feel like I would understand and like everything that's being talked about already, but it probably would be good for anyone to kind of just like understand it fully and grasp it versus us talking about it.
Toby, watch out for the guy that created the like button. My man looks guilty and depressed. You want to hear what he said, because he's like, I fucked up in his face.
I could see that.
His whole face, he's like, I fucked up.
I could see that. It's caused a lot of crazy underlying mental issues.
Yeah, and he feels bad about it, man. Like
I'm sure.
Oppenheimer level, like, I really regret what was done here.
He's rich. But he's rich, but he's sad.
Guys, we're gonna get to it right now. You know what time it is. Geek news and rumors.
Get the rumors.
We have so many to go over, and we only have like 15 minutes left, so we'll make it pretty quick and easy. First off, we'll start off. You know what?
That first one.
I'm gonna mention this one because this one just broke right before the show. PS5 announced for November 12th, $500 for the version that comes with the Blu-ray, so you can put disc. $400 for the digital only platform. People are pretty excited. I know Xbox similar.
Interesting.
The Xbox is similar price for their disc-based device, but their digital-based device is $100 cheaper. So they might do better for people who want possibly a digital game. But that's about it.
I'm surprised how low that is.
Xbox? Because Xbox doesn't have anything. They don't have any titles to pull people in with.
No, I'm surprised that the PS5 price is so low.
They have to because of the price Xbox decided to go with. Xbox went rogue with that pricing.
Yep.
Yeah, they had to lower their price. I'm sure that's not as low as they wanted to go.
No, I think it was going to be $799.
Yeah, 100% it was going to be $800. I feel like it would have been $600 to $800.
Yeah, that was the rumor. That $800 was, and they didn't have a choice. If Xbox undercut them so bad,
hard.
Yeah.
So anyway. I'm happy because I actually would probably get the edition with the disc. I like downloading once in a while, but certain games I just want to own. You know what I mean? Like have a physical copy.
My concern with the digital version is the same thing that happens with Apple. I don't know if you guys know, but at one point Apple was having, if you bought a movie from Apple and you were watching it, Apple could lose the license to the movie. And even if you paid to own a digital copy, if they lost the license, you couldn't use it anymore. You couldn't watch the movie. But
that's you paid. I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah.
So that stuff like that is the reason that I like to buy a physical disc, because like you can never take this disc from me. It's mine. I paid for it. So
yeah. And also space. How many terabytes? Is it a 1 terabyte system? What are they? 500 gigs?
That's the problem. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read all that stuff before.
PS5 is like 825 for the physical, and then they haven't specified how many gigs for the digital. And then Xbox is like 1 terabyte, and then but they both have SSD slots, so that's good. But then
like 825 is a decent amount.
Yeah.
My PS4 right now is about 500.
Yeah.
I know most people are complaining about space because certain games with the DLC and all that shit updates are like a gig, 2 gigs, so it could easily run out of space no time. You know,
Grand Theft Auto is 100 gigs on mine easy.
Right?
Yeah,
so
Red Dead is 112.
So. Yeah, so imagine if you owned the physical copy, you'd probably only need half that.
If you get Call of Duty, it's like so large.
It's a lot.
Ridiculous.
Damn. Yeah, so Toby, you put this one Mandalorian trailer. Did we all get
I just kind of wanted to see if did you see it first of all?
I watched it.
I didn't get a chance yet, no.
Okay. I like that we will be getting Jedis in the second season. Not a spoiler. They mentioned the Jedi. Nice. They mentioned the Jedi in the trailer.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how much of the Jedi we're gonna see, but obviously we know Ahsoka Tano is gonna be in it.
True, that is what we were told. That's fair,
right? Now there was one scene where you saw a girl, and everyone thinks that's Rosario Dawson.
It didn't look like her. I didn't think it looked like her.
A ton of people thought it was.
I know who. I think I know who you're talking about. It's actually a wrestler named Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
it's Sasha Banks.
She's cool. There's a scene there like where the Mandalorian's talking, and then they kind of like show a woman in a hood, like a black hood. Yeah. It kind of looks like it would be Rosario Dawson because we know she would be in it. But then I'm like, but wait, she doesn't look like Ahsoka.
Yeah, she
right
didn't look
right away. Right away, you're like, well, no, that can't be Ahsoka because Ahsoka looks like an alien.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is this why Sasha Banks is leaving the wrestling? Isn't that the rumor?
No, I think she filmed whatever she had to film when she was like injured.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Everyone's talking about her injuries. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, which is it's weird. She's also Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yeah, first cousin. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Also cousins with Daz Dillinger.
Wait, if she's cousins with Snoop, isn't she cousins with Brandy and Ray J?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like
family. That's crazy.
Anyway, what else? It looks great. I'm excited for that season.
Yeah. I think it looks cool. Disney Plus released a mini trailer on Twitter that showed people a whole bunch of titles that are coming out in the next coming months. All of these titles are expected to launch before 2020. The one that caught most people, the end of 2020, the one that caught most people's eyes is WandaVision is expected before the end of the year. People are pretty excited about that. It would be a little crazy if you ask me, seeing as it's directly supposed to be connected to Doctor Strange's movie, and his movies doesn't come out till 2022. So I'm like, I guess give us the show, but we have to wait 2 years before we see how this connects.
What was their previous order, though?
Well,
because I feel like if it's that far out, then it's still in their plan. They wouldn't release that order if it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it's like Easter eggs that lead you to
exactly
Doctor Strange.
And it's like when you get to Doctor Strange in 2022, you're going to see those scenes that because he's going through multiple time, space, whatever situation, right? So he's probably going to be interacting with scenes we've already seen in WandaVision.
I just know they said it's directly linked. So
yeah,
again, technically you're right. Everything in the MCU is directly linked. So I guess that's a pretty
the Ant-Man link to Avengers was the time travel shit.
Yeah. Black Widow is possibly being moved because it's supposed to launch November 6th, but we all know Tenet did not do as well as people hoped. The rumor was for Tenet that technically on the high end, based on estimated numbers, it's supposed to make, for it to clear, $650 million.
How much has it made?
140 something so far.
In order for it to clear, what it has to make 650?
For it to clear the budget, the film budget and the marketing budget, and split, and because they get 50%. Well, usually you get 50% of the box office, right? When you're releasing a movie, Tenet is taking 63%, which was the other article that came out a while ago. Now it makes sense as to why it was 63%. The 63% comes from the fact that, you guys,
the film's budget is $205 million.
Yes, and then
with all the marketing and everything they put into it, it's close to 600.
No, it's close to 325.
Oh, but you're saying they need to make the money back and some to actually cover
for because the theaters take a part, right? So
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's not looking great.
Jeez,
it's gonna be considered. It's gonna be considered one of the greatest flops there ever was.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed about that.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
COVID.
I think if anything, it's not that it's. I don't think it's going to be considered a flop. I think it's going to be seen as, the pandemic led to this. Like, this is the pandemic. We can't do anything about the pandemic. We accept the fact that because of the pandemic, the movie couldn't make more. Because they're trying. They're definitely trying, but you know, you can only make so much. Is the Batman a movie or a series? Either way,
Movie.
That's a movie.
Robert
bro.
Pattinson. It's a movie. Yeah.
Movie.
A movie that's not even filming right now because Pattinson got COVID, or supposedly, I don't know.
Yeah.
They said someone on. Then the rumors were him.
It was him. It came out afterwards that it was him. The rumor was someone on set. Then afterwards, he actually came out and says he has COVID. So, yeah, I hope that resumes soon. That sucks because after that trailer, I know a lot of people were not as excited. I don't know. People were super nitpicky about that trailer. I loved it.
I liked that. I thought it was a great trailer.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Continuing Fighters though. Yeah. Go ahead, hit us, dude.
I was gonna pitch George St. Pierre like you're about to. So.
Yeah, George St. Pierre reprising his role as Georges Batroc in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I like how hard that was for you.
Well, because I wanted to say it with a really bad French accent.
Batroc the Leaper, he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Good.
I mean, the fight he has
killed it in that role.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
was a sick fight.
That was
they were evenly matched pretty much up until Cap realized, oh wait, I'm Cap.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I feel it's true. I feel like Cap was just like, oh, I like this fight. This guy can keep up with me, and then he's like, oh no, I actually need this to be done, and he just whoops his ass. You're like, oh,
the mission, right.
Yeah.
mission.
I didn't got time to stay with you, but that's why it's great that he's coming back.
Yo, you know what we got hints of in the Marvel movies with Cap, and I'm sad that like Cap is gone now technically, but I love when Cap fights aggressively.
Yeah,
we didn't get enough of like he's a destroyer when he wants to hit, bro.
Cap fighting Iron Man, end of Civil War, solid fight.
Yeah,
solid fight. When he like that thing that he does when he like really gets into it, where he goes like he like
man.
Like does the shoulder thing and he like
they all do it now. Matter of fact, what's his name did that in Mission Impossible as a nod to that.
Henry
Cavill.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Since when does your arm go? I don't know.
Right? Power Ranger.
No one does. I've been in a few fights. No one does that in a fight.
I know, right? Let me flex a little bit. It's like, why are you doing this? This is not a thing. Like, we're fighting right now,
sir. It's not the time.
Yeah. That was an opening. I'm gonna knock you out now. Thank you for
Matter of fact, if I'm ever fighting anyone, I know people are listening now, and you do that, I'm probably gonna run because I know that's what that means.
If you take your time to do a whole pose before we fight, man. If you're all about this, no. Like, no.
I know we fought about you stepping on my shoes, but I'll leave my wallet here for you just in case while I run.
Yeah.
Okay? Just think.
That's for real. Yeah, no.
Oh my god!
I ain't trying to fight any with poses.
Yeah,
I always love the Jean-Claude Van Damme pose as Guile at the beginning of Street Fighter there, where he's all like, that's the full into the camera.
Jesus, we're not going to get into Street Fighter right now.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
So many tangents.
Marvel's She-Hulk series at Disney Plus lands Kat Coro as director and executive producer. So I'm excited about that. I want to hear some Moon Knight news also. Hopefully they'll give us something soon because that's another series. It's Moon Knight, She-Hulk, WandaVision, Loki. What are the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Falcon, Winter Soldier.
And then Hawkeye.
Huh?
Hawkeye has a series.
Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hawkeye has a
Oh my
series.
god, I forgot about this guy, man.
I know, it's rude, man. No one talks about the series. No one cares about Hawkeye. Same thing.
I care about Hawkeye. Stop that.
Same thing on the
Come
boys.
on.
Eagle
Do you
dude.
know Skinny? Do you?
Yes, I do. He was my favorite. He's purple.
You never say his freaking name, bro. I've never heard you go, did you guys read this cool Hawkeye comic book? You guys see this cool
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye? You don't even show your Hawkeye toys, bro. That's how little
Yeah,
you.
I don't see no shirt to Hawkeye.
I know he's gonna do it. That's why I said it. I know he's gonna do it now.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Drew, fuck you. Hold on. We got 3, all right? Bomb. Don't come at me.
Once again, kids, if you're listening to the podcast, don't forget you can always watch us on our Facebook page, Frank and our
my guy.
You can watch it. You'll see all the silliness. That's
great. Also, speaking of She-Hulk,
yeah,
you think they might work this into the series? So She-Hulk and Thor in the comic books are officially in a relationship. What was so clickbaity about this is when every news outlet posted this story, they put Hulk and Thor in relationship.
Because that's how everyone referred to now.
Yes.
No, of course that's what it's referred to, but the laymen don't know that.
Exactly.
Most people, the Muggles don't know that. Most people who
I was so annoyed when I saw. I was like, "Yo, you guys are clickbaity bitches."
I know, right? It's like, come on, man. They almost got me, but only because it was 4:30 in the morning when I was reading it. I was like, Hulk? Oh no.
Yeah.
That's great. But yes, it would be cool to see this worked into the show somehow. Because Hulk, I mean not Hulk, but Thor is losing, his town, his what's it called? His planet or his people. Like he's on his own now, right? So it would be cool to integrate the two. Young Justice season 4. Okay.
Cannot wait.
Did we talk about this being canceled at some point recently? After season 3?
No, it wasn't about it being canceled. I think the idea was that they just wanted to. A lot of people expected season 3 to be where they wrapped up because they never really wrapped it up in season 2. But obviously, if it's doing well, you're not going to wrap it up. Like that's stupid.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
especially since DC Universe Online is dead and HBO Max wants content, so they're like, yeah, bring on the fucking shows over. Let's do this. Like, I'll make money.
They being called Phantoms. I'm wondering what the direction they're going to go in. Yeah,
I was wondering about Phantom Zone. Because they're not.
What's it called?
It's called Young Justice Phantom.
Yeah.
Do
you guys think they're gonna do mythical Zatanna, Dr. Fate, all that stuff? Because that's
they already have. Yeah, they've already like encroached on that territory. Right?
Yeah, but they never did like a season dedicated to it with like magical and. Because
that would be smart because it would give exposure to a lot new characters. That's what the show's always been about.
Yeah, you could do Justice League Dark. You could introduce a lot into the Young Justice universe if you do that. And they've already fought Clarion the Witch Boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but
I'm just wondering if they're going to do a big jump like they've been doing.
I hope not.
Like every season, there's a significant jump of time between the last
season. It's still a mystery as to what it's about, but it looks like in this season, Connor Kent and Megan Morris are going to go off on their own thing.
Good.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to probably have a A side and a B side story at some for the whole season.
Okay.
So maybe Phantoms has to do with more the Kent side. Maybe he'll somehow end up in the Phantom Zone. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's
okay.
possible. But I've had no clue with what they were doing at all with Young Justice, which is great. So
true.
Doom Patrol. Are you guys on this show?
I love it.
Really?
I love Doom Patrol.
After 2 or 3 episodes, it's trash. I think it's trash.
Really?
Brendan Fraser caught my eye in the first 2 episodes. After that, nothing. I don't like the villain. I don't like the voiceover. I hate that voiceover so much.
That voiceover was annoying, huh?
Oh,
it's the villain. It's the villain doing the voiceover.
Yeah, but they don't do it in the new season.
Well, you did it so much in season 1 that I stopped watching. So
in season 2, he doesn't do it because the character's not there. Funny enough, they break the fourth wall and reference the fact that he moved on to Harley Quinn's show.
Oh,
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they break the fourth wall and they're like, he got a job as a character on it. Like they legit plug Harley Quinn. They don't say the name, but they say
Doom Patrol like that normally.
Yeah, Doom Patrol is like fourth wall breaking. Like the whole season 1, like you said, Dr.
Yes.
What's his name?
That's true. That's true.
He breaks the fourth wall. He regularly talks about the show being a show.
That is
Our
so
hero-
true.
our
See, that's
intrepid
not much I
heroes.
forgot, but you're right. And I think maybe that's what I didn't like. I don't know why. It just didn't grab me. This show.
I'm with you. I don't usually like when shows break the fourth wall. I really don't. But for these guys, I was okay with it because they're complete fucking idiots. And the breaking of the fourth wall was like, we know we're stupid. We know we're going to essentially mess this up. We don't have a choice. We got to bring some levity to the destruction we're going to lead to. And then they just run with it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I might give it another shot down the line somewhere. But Dave says Harley Quinn. He agrees with you guys on Harley Quinn being a good show.
It is.
Dave.
Sadly, still not renewed. I think that was one of the news I was going to post, but I forgot to put it. The showrunners trying to get the show picked up for a third season, and they haven't yet.
Whoa, wow.
Which I'm surprised. If they're going with Young Justice and things like this, why aren't you going with Harley Quinn?
I think, like I said to you last time we were talking about it, he ended the show so well that you technically do not need another season the way he ended it.
And you don't need to announce it until you have something solid, I guess, too, right? If you want to ruin your show.
But they drive off into the sunset. That's it. It's done. Like he really doesn't need to make another season.
Yeah. See, here's another thing about this whole like ordering a season ahead of time or before his first season is over is that the writer or the person now is under pressure to write something on time. Right? Yeah. You automatically ruin the magic of what makes a show if someone's never written past a season or two.
Look what happened.
Writers don't write past season 1 or season 2. It's very rare that a writer has already had the beginning and the end of the show in mind. Yeah. And you always even hear sometimes where they go, well, I know how it's going to end, so I needed to work from the beginning and figure out how I was going to get there. Whereas some people work backwards.
Skinny, what were you saying? Look at how what?
Look what happened to Watchmen.
Oh,
they announced that as a series at first, and then they like HBO kept hinting that it was going to come back, and then dude was like, "Nah." Like,
that guy was just like, I don't want to do another one. And Regina,
I don't need the pressure. Matter of fact, we should have had this conversation first before you guys started leaking that a second season is coming.
Yeah. He probably signed on for multiples or signed on as if he was going to do multiples, and it was like, you know what?
I don't know how. Like the thing with the contracts is though, I don't know if you could break contracts like that. If you sign on to write 2 or 3 seasons, you'd have to write 2 to 3 seasons.
But you know what?
You might have signed him on for one for possibility or option
to. He optioned out for sure.
He definitely optioned out. He Dave Chappelle it. Take my money.
Leave on top, man. And you can come back at any point. The next thing you do, people are gonna be like, "That's the guy that did Watchmen." Boom. There's your next. You know what I mean?
There's whatever his next project
to be said about quality. Like that's I don't have to preach that, but we all know.
And last bit of news we got, folks: Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain returning to TV after a 27-year hiatus. I am
fucking down.
So excited. So
to see because it's not gonna be the same voice actors, is it? Rob
Paulson.
It is. Really?
The whole team. They're all back, man.
Yeah, that's why they said only the Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, because I don't think they have the voices for the other mini shows that they had.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not doing Slappy the Squirrel?
As far as so. They haven't announced that stuff yet.
That's crazy.
But you know what they're gonna do? They're going to do the same thing they did with the last Bugs Bunny series they made. It's going to be like 11-minute episodes. I don't think we're going to get full, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, me neither.
I mean, the original show was essentially 3 mini episodes put into one, though.
Yeah. Now they're just going to do that. They're going to release those as the single episodes.
Just don't water down my shit. That's all I say.
Water down Pinky and the Brain?
Or Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, I'd be more worried than watering down. Pinky and the Brain, I don't know if that's...
Pinky and the Brain are fine. They're not... They're going to be normal.
Because they're Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, no. There's
the Brain.
That now
one
by
is a genius, the other's insane.
Okay,
the laboratory mice.
Are they going to bring back
just been sliced?
I'm so happy that Tobi knows the whole
the brain.
You really did that. You did.
That's my props into
That's
you.
That's right. I'll take that. I couldn't stop. I could finish the rest of the song. I know the whole intro, bro. I can sing it all to you right now.
I'm just happy they're not bringing back Elvira because that was unfortunate.
Yeah, when they added Elvira to the show, I'm like, why'd you guys do that? It was season 3 or 4.
They forced them. They forced them. Because I actually read up on it. There's a season before the Elvira season where it was Pinky, the brain, and another mouse. And that episode was specifically because the studio forced them and said, we want more characters. So when they did that character to show the network, sure, we'll add a character. It'll be a stupid character and no one's going to like it. And we're going to make fun of them. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to get rid of them. And that's what they did. But then
Elvira or Elmira?
Elmira.
Elmira? I don't remember.
The girl with the orange hair?
Yeah.
Elmira.
Elmira, sure.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, Elvira is the vampiress, like the vampire. Anyway, sorry.
Nerd.
Yeah, sorry.
Nerd.
Elvira, anyway. Sure, I am a nerd. I'll
again.
take it. I'll accept it, sir.
Hey, Grizz, if you like that or still do, you take Ritalin? Hater.
Or will take.
Hate.
Or will take Ritalin.
We all love the show.
Hey, Grizz, go on YouTube and Google, just Google the Calypso song from Animaniacs, and that's all. All right? That's it. Stop it. You're hater.
Fraggle Rock was dope for a sec. Fraggle Rock was dope. I like Fraggle Rock, actually. I was freaked the hell out by Fraggle Rock as a kid, I think. Because it was like because it was like these creatures in the cave, and they go into this real world where there's a big dog, and like there's also these like giant, crazy orc-looking creatures. Have you ever seen Fraggle Rock?
You watch horror movies. What are you talking about?
When I say as a kid, Fraggle Rock, I was watching. Okay, here's where
the horror, but you couldn't watch Fraggle Rock. Thank you.
Fraggle Rock was freaky. Okay, all right.
Thank you, City.
I get it, guys. I get it. Fraggle Rock was like 6 years old, and my first horror movie was 9 years old. So there was a 3-year period where I was scared of a lot of things, as a kid.
What was your first horror movie, if you remember?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
So wait, hold on, wait.
In 3 years.
The Nightmare on Elm Street with Johnny Depp, the dream. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, you're no nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, cool. I do remember them freaking me out as a kid, though. Like the big orcs that chase the little dudes. I don't know if anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about right now.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. The big ones you didn't like. They ran away from them. And
Yeah. They were weird, man.
Great opener song that made you let you know that they were friendly.
Yo, okay. Here's one thing I will say: puppets have always freaked me out. Like as a kid, I've always been weirded out by puppets. Yeah, like Jim Henson, these realistic, gross-looking, moving puppets. I've always been freaked out by them. Always.
So did you hate Chucky?
And Snuffleupagus?
Fucking hated Chucky.
Oh.
Hated Chucky. I could watch the movie, but I just don't like the idea that something that we all have in our homes, like an inanimate object, like a pet or a doll or a puppet, can just come out of nowhere and kill you while you're sleeping. Thank you, Jay. You know what? Let me put Jay Grizz's thing up here.
So does the movie Toys scare you? Like,
okay,
what did he say?
Scary.
You guys,
certain Muppets were hella scary, man.
Sure, yeah.
Telly, the anti-depressed one.
The frog really freaked me out.
Holy shit, man!
Karate chop.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch Dark Crystal. Anything with puppets, bro. You will not find me watching it. I just didn't like it.
So you never saw the movie Labyrinth?
Nope. Pan's Labyrinth, you mean?
No, Labyrinth. There's a movie, a David Bowie movie.
Never watched it. Nope.
That's fine.
Guys, where the wild things are. Never watched it. They look like puppets too.
Toby,
it's okay. I'm exaggerating. It, but they did used to freak me out as a kid, though. They did.
My God, man! I'm gonna stop you before you add to the weird embarrassment that is happening right now. I don't know.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm the one giving the information for free. I'm just like,
kids.
Oh man.
We've come to the end of the show. We just want to remind you guys, you can check out all things Geektastic Cypher, Franklin Armstrong on franklinarmstrong.com. I hosted a panel with some pretty awesome art directors recently. Patrick O'Keefe from Into the Spider-Verse, John Bell from Back to the Future Jurassic Park, Nick Hyatt, who did Star Wars The Force Awakens, and David Bleish, who did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 and worked on a whole bunch of other projects. That was the panel that I got to host. All of those are available on the Franklin Armstrong YouTube page, so go check it out. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the whole show. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You want to tell them anything before we bounce?
Shout out to everyone being active today. That was awesome. Actually, having all you guys talking at the same time and joining on the conversation. More of that.
Always fun. All right, kids, we're out. Peace.
Deuces.